I will tell you, I was known by some of the largest companies in the world as being one of the only trial lawyers who would take over a trial just before trial. Like, let's say you got a case in Oklahoma, and it's a multi-million-dollar case, and you're the giant insurance company or whatever you are, and your lawyer's not doing a good job. And he's been working on the case 2 years. And you have a 1-month jury trial coming up, and you have 80 witnesses to depose. They're not done. You're not happy. Most lawyers will not step in, I don't care what you pay them, because they think they're going to commit malpractice, they're going to be sued. They call Scott. Scott comes in when it's ugly, when nobody wants it, when you can't win it. Scott, I got another winnable case for you. And I go in and I'll take over that case, and I will go into trial 8 weeks later. The other guy on the other side, he's been in the case 3 years, or she's been in the case 3 years. They know every single thing. I walk in the courtroom. Now, you be them for a moment. When the lead counsel walks in, he's been on the case 8 weeks. There is one of two conclusions that you will immediately render. Conclusion number one: is this guy nuts? I'm going to eat him for lunch. I mean, I have been living this case 3 years. He is some punk from out of town, who dresses wrong. The least likely. The most likely, number two: oh my God, they got a lawyer with that kind of talent who's coming in. He must know something I don't. Let's go through the files again. So fearful. If the lawyer who just got here beats me, oh my God. Case in point, I have a trial. Big, ugly trial having to do with this truck that hit this car and just did horrible damage. I won't even discuss it. Millions and millions of dollars at stake. The key issue was whether the light was green. Remember this?
Yeah.
Key issue. Light's green, they win. Light's red, they're dead. Okay? Red, you're dead. Green, you're good. Okay? So I got in the case late. Okay? And I got the chance to take the deposition of the only witness to the who actually is claiming they saw what color the light was when the cars entered the intersection. Red, they're dead. I win. Green, I lose. Get the guy in deposition. He's like 80-something years old. Said, I go through, those of you that know me, I am very detailed. I take baby steps. Sir, this is being videotaped, sir, so you understand, and you're under oath. Were you standing in a position where you could observe the color of the light when the car entered the intersection? Yes. Where specifically, sir, were you standing at that time? I was standing right here in this picture. So, according to the picture, I have circled it and made a red X on this diagram, which is on the bottom right corner, and that is where you were standing when the cars entered the intersection. Yes, it is. Did you have a chance to actually see the color of the light when the car entered the intersection? I mean, were you looking at I was. What color was the light when the car enters the intersection? Okay? I want him to say red, because then they're dead, right? He says the light was red. Thinking about, I didn't say that outwardly. That's inside, okay? Okay? I said to him what would turn out to be immortal words. Are you sure? He leaned up to the camera. He looked at the camera. He said, now you listen here, you whippersnapper. That light was red. It was red. It was red. You ask your next question. Fast forward 8 weeks. Okay? Trial. Smith of Smith, Jones, and Jones is trying the case for the other guys. He has brought Jones, his 4 girlfriends, he has brought his associates, his it's the whole room. In courtrooms, you generally have like 2 pews. It's like mobbed on that side. All people from his law firm. Because he's going to destroy the destroyer. Okay? Sparse crowd for me. Okay? And they get into the middle of trial. And the other guy says, I call old man to the stand. Okay? And I'm thinking, why would you call this guy to the stand? He's going to say red and you're dead. What is he like? Did he lose his mind or something? And he puts the guy on the stand. And he says and he just mimics me. He says, sir, were you standing in a position where you could see the light? Old man, yes. And where exactly, sir, were you, and he asked, where exactly were you standing? I was standing in this location. Did you in fact, sir? And he's like, did you in fact, sir? You know, that smirky kind of thing. And it's like, all the people are almost like, you know, they're almost chuckling. They're not, but you don't have that feeling of like, you know, you feel like somebody's laughing. He says, and did you see the color of the light? I did. And he goes, and what color? Tell the ladies and gentlemen of the jury what color that light was. And the guy says it was green. What? And he goes just like this. The guy goes, this senior partner was not at that depot, okay? His partner who's sitting at the table was at the depot, but he doesn't seem alarmed at all, okay? And maybe they got the guy to change this one, I don't know. But he says to the guy, just his knee-jerk reaction, are you sure? And I swear to God, the guy leans forward. He says to the old man, you listen here, you whippersnapper. That light was green, it was green, it was green. You ask your next question. And he says, I have nothing further. And I kid you not, they actually started laughing. Okay? I got up. Now, the preface to this is, I'm a tech guy. I wire all my courtrooms. I got plasma TVs and, you know, digital light projection and strobe lights and, you know, I mean, I got everything. You know, I could tell the pulse of the jurors. It comes up on my computer. My cell phone has an app that tells me how many breaths per minute that the judge is having. And okay? So, I got this courtroom rigged. And what I do, my tactic, which has now been copied by, if you see the best trial lawyers, is when somebody's sitting on the stand, they're sitting here, what most people do when they display stuff is they put a television set, because the jury's over there, they put a television set here so that the jury can see and the judge can look over. I don't do that. I put the television set just to the right of the person. So if I play something, you see him and him, or her and her. I like that. Or if my witness is talking about something, like the guy who was talking about the Dolphins, I had the video come up, and I said, why don't you take us through what you're seeing here? And he had a little LED light pen, and as you can see here, these are the Dolphins, and this is how they move their way into the cove, and he's like a narrator, you know? And he doesn't have to get up out of his chair, although he did get up, but he's not like moving and trying, oh, judge, am I blocking you? So I have it rigged up. My witness. I get up, old man. I said, you remember me? And he said, yes. I said, you know, I must have misheard you. You know, but I thought that you said that you were standing in a position where you could see the light when the car entered an intersection. Am I right there? Yes. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I thought that you said that you were actually viewing the light. You knew the color of the light when the car entered the intersection. Yes. And I must have misheard you, but didn't you say that the light was, what color was the light, sir? Let me just back up, sir. You said in direct what color the light was. What color was the light? I just tell the jury. And the guy says, the light's green. It's green. Can you hear me? The light's green. And I said to this guy, are you sure? He leans forward again. Now listen here, you whippersnapper. That light was green, it was green, it was green. You ask your next question. I said, sir, do you remember that we had a deposition 9 weeks ago? I do. Do you remember that you raised your right hand? Swore to tell the truth? Yes. The whole truth? Yes. Nothing but the truth? So help you God? Yes. And Do you remember getting the following question and giving the following answer? So he's sitting here, 55-inch video screen. It was red, it was red, it was red. You ask your next question. He just got done saying it was green, it was green, green. The judge says, how did you do that? I said the F3 key, because I rig it up to where a judge can. So he goes, it was green, it was green, it was green. It was red, it was red, it was red. It was red, it was red, it was red. He said, jury, see this? Red, red. He played it like 7 times. He was so excited. Okay? Needless to say, that case ended out in the hallway on the next break. So the ability to be prepared and the ability to use what assets you have is obviously critical to success in any endeavor, whether you're learning something about a test or you're learning something about something else.